Hey guys, it's time for another edition of Wrestling Man's Retro Review. This is the video series where I take a look at classic Coliseum home videos voted upon by you, the fans. What's the purpose of this series? Well, it's to help you, the fans, decide if you want to go and buy these old Coliseum videos eBay or Amazon or your next door neighbor, whoever, because I'm here to help you. Now, of course, this is part one of, I call it a two-part summer finale because I'm going to take a little break from doing the retro reviews after this and the next video, which I won't tell you guys right now. You got to wait and see what it is. But this first video that I'm reviewing, I tell you, I underestimated this video a little bit, but it's a really good tape. The Best of the WWF, Volume 6. This videotape, hosted by Gorilla Monsoon, has 5 matches on it, probably the fewest of any of the Best of the WWF series, which is 20 volumes. But they're good matches. Plus, we also have a couple of special segments as well. So I kick it off with Leaping Lanny Poffo against Terry Funk. Boy, this is a great match to start off because you got Terry Funk. He's Terry Funk, no other words to say it. And then you got Leaping Lanny Poffo, a guy who I feel is underrated as far as, when people look at the history of wrestling. I totally feel he's an underrated performer. Very good moments in this match. Terry Funk was chopping the crap out of Lanny Poffo. Poffo was doing, excellent scientific wrestling. At one point, Funk and Poffo were having a suplex battle, to get one or the other in or out. It ended up with Lanny Poffo being suplexed all the way to the floor, which was just an incredible sight. Especially on the hard floor of Madison Square Garden. Nowadays, it's like, if you get suplexed, it's through a table or something. But back in the day, when a guy got suplexed to the floor, that was real surprising. But it does end with Terry Funk putting the sleeper hold on Lanny Poffo. Poffo actually tries to fight out of this at one point, but just didn't have enough mustard to cut it, and Terry Funk got the win, and then after the match, Funk branded Lanny Poffo. So our next match is Hulk Hogan defending the World Wrestling Federation title against Macho Man Randy Savage. Now this, again, is in Madison Square Garden, and to the best of my knowledge, is the first time that Hulk Hogan defended the title against Randy Savage. Of course, in 1986, 87, and especially in 89, these two men would be fighting over the WWF title. Hogan starts off with a lot of offense, and the crowd is really behind Hogan in this match. They're really behind Hogan. And Savage just seems he can't catch a break, and then he does get an opportunity. He does get a little bit of offense in. And Elizabeth is worried at times, about Randy Savage. And then at one point, Hogan was going to send Savage to the post, and Elizabeth was standing there, and Hogan decides to pick her up and move her away, which is pretty funny, but it was, a good spot. Here's how the match ends. Savage hits an elbow drop. Hogan gets out at 2. Savage complains to the referee. Hogan is running behind Savage. Savage moves out of the way. He accidentally hits the referee. Savage sends Hogan to the floor. Savage then grabs the belt, climbs to the top rope, hits Hogan with the belt. Now this makes Hogan bleed, although he got hit in the neck. He bled anyway. Savage rolls back in the ring. He helps the referee start the 10 count. Randy Savage wins via count out. He beats Hulk Hogan by count out. So Savage then grabs the belt, has Elizabeth put the belt around his waist. He's declared the winner, but obviously the title cannot change hands on a disqualification or a countout. So Savage tries to leave, carrying Elizabeth to the back. When Hogan catches Savage, he brings Savage back to the ring, and he gets a little bit of redemption, but not a lot, onto Randy Savage. Hogan does have his title, but Randy Savage gets the win. Then we go to a segment from the TNT show where Jesse the Body Ventura is the guest, and they started off with showing Corporal Kirshner's, flying ability since he was in, the Marines or the Army, whatever his gimmick was. And Jesse said, well, when I was in the SEALs, we called all them pukes. Because that's what they were. They were all pukes. Because everyone knows SEALs are the toughest and SEALs are the best. So then Vince McMahon is in the audience, and a couple of the audience members ask him questions. This first guy just rants along about how, Jesse's got all this horrible clothes and stuff. And Jesse's laid back and he's like, let me tell you something. These clothes, all the expenses of this clothes would buy your car. And then another fan asks another question. And then this third fan comes up, an old gentleman. And he's a fan of Jesse Ventura. Well, this poor guy asks these long questions that completely make no sense whatsoever. The guy's trying his best, but it just didn't make any sense. And Jesse's like, why don't you answer those questions, big man? So we go back to the action, and the midgets are up now as Butch Cassidy takes on the Haiti Kid. Now, of course, the Haiti Kid is infamous for being given a haircut by Roddy Piper weeks before WrestleMania 2, as he was in the corner of Mr. T at WrestleMania 2 and also was in WrestleMania 3. Butch Cassidy, if you've never seen Butch Cassidy, he's a very interesting wrestler because he's probably the tallest of the midget wrestlers at this point in time. Goes about 110 pounds. He's almost as tall as the referee for the match, Gilberto Roman, which is very funny. But, it's your typical midget match, but it's a fun midget match. The end of the match comes when Haiti Kid bumps Cassidy down. Haiti Kid goes to the ropes. Cassidy is on all fours. Haiti Kid rolls it, reverses it into a roll-up. 1, 2, 3. Haiti Kid gets the win, and it was a really nice, smooth roll-up by the Haiti Kid. Now we go into the archives of the WWF as we see luscious Johnny Valiant taking on Polish Power Ivan Putski. Now this match was held in 1979, so this is when Johnny Valiant was still wrestling, and he's being managed by Captain Lou Albano, and Ivan Putski's, he's rocking the beard in that match, and he's actually got a little bit of a gut, but not too much. This is a quick match. The match ends when Putski hits Valiant with the Polish hammer, and then he does a big, the earthquake splash on the Valiant and gets the 3 count. Then we go to a segment, and I have to be honest with you guys. When the voting was happening to pick the 2 videos, one of the people that voted for the best of the WWF asked, if you review this, I want to hear about this segment. What segment am I talking about? Lord Alfred Hayes giving relationship advice. Oh my. This is probably the tops. This is maybe the best of them all. So Vince McMahon, now the segment on TNT used to be called, I think it was Advice for the Loved Lorn, I think was the name of it. I probably messed it up, but if I did, I apologize. So, being that Lord Alfred Hayes is a British gentleman, Vince McMahon asks Lord Alfred Hayes, what would you do on your first date with a female? Now, Alfred Hayes refers to them as maiden. So, throughout this whole segment, you're going to hear Lord Alfred Hayes mention maiden. Well, On a first date, an English gentleman would have his glove on, and he would take the young maiden and hold her by the hand, and they would stroll around the park. So then Vince McMahon goes and says, okay, well, what do you do on the second date? Well, on the second date, what a young gentleman would do is he would get his lips together and kiss the maiden on the cheek. So this is pretty much going nowhere. So Vince asks, okay, so what happens, say, 5-6 months into these two dating? So Lord is like, see, what a gentleman would do with a fair maiden is he would take his hands, he would grab the woman by the waist, bring her over to him, would hug her, and would kiss her. And Vince McMahon basically gives up on it. Trust me, this is a great segment. You have to find it on YouTube, or if you get this videotape, you have to watch it. It is great. And then the final match on this tape, it was on one of the earlier Best of the WWFs, but I'm glad they put this one on again. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat against Cowboy Bob Orton. This is a phenomenal match between two of the best technical wrestlers that this business has ever had. It is an absolute great match. The crowd was really into it the entire time from beginning to end, and the ending is a good ending. Because Steamboat attempts a splash, like he's running to the ropes, attempts a splash, Orton brings his knees up. So as the referee is checking on Steamboat, Orton fixes his cast. So he goes to the top rope, hits Steamboat with the cast. The referee had warned Orton during the match to quit using that cast or else I'm going to disqualify you. That was the last straw. Called for the bell. Ricky Steamboat wins via disqualification. So, what did I think about the Best of the WWF Volume 6? Well, like I said, going into this tape, I underestimated it a little bit. But wow, this is a great tape. You got 5 matches on here. And here's the key thing. Unlike the previous 5 Best of the WWF videotapes, where, the matches are cut short, due to the length of time, none of these matches are cut short. None of them. I mean, Steamboat and Orton, yes, you go into it as the match is starting, but you get the whole match. There really is not one bad match on this videotape. Plus, the Ventura segment is great. And Lord Alfred Hayes giving advice. Like I said, you have to see that to believe it. It is really great. Best of the WWF, Volume 6, definitely, if you're a collector of videotapes and you want to fill up your library, get the Best of the WWF, Volume 6. You will not regret it. Well, that's going to do it for this time around. Join me next time when I review the other videotape that you, the fans, voted as, I guess you can call it, the season finale of Wrestling Man's Retro Review. So long, everybody.